Imagine spending days preparing a farm, plowing, clearing, grading, planting, and then you wake up the next morning to find out someone came in the night and uprooted every single sucker you planted. This happened to me, and today I'm telling you exactly how I handled it and what it taught me about protecting yourself as a farmer in Ghana. Welcome back to the African Agripreneur. I'm Kinkonu Elizabeth, and today is very personal. I talk a lot on this channel about the technical side of farming: cost, soil, success, timing, profits. But farming is not just about the land and the crops. It's about the people, the challenges, and the moment that tests you, your character. Today, I want to share with you one of the most difficult experiences I've ever had in this business. A land dispute that pushed me to my limits and taught me lessons that no farming manual will ever teach me. Today's story is real. It is raw, and I'm sharing it because I want you to be prepared if something like this ever happens to you. This happened when I had just decided to take full control of my farming, no more depending on others to oversee everything. I was doing it myself. I was present. I was focused. I was ready. I found a piece of land. I did my checks. I got the documentation. I paid. I got the receipts. And then we got to work. Land preparation done, plowing done, clearing, burning done, grading, planting, spreading, like everything was done. Everything was in order. Everything was moving smoothly. And then we started planting. That is when he showed up. Now here is what I want you to understand about this man. He did not show up when we were preparing the land. He did not show up when we were spraying the suckers. He did not show up. He only showed up when we started planting. He waited deliberately. He watched us do all the hard work. He waited until we had invested our time, our money, our energy into the land. And then, right in the middle of planting, he appeared, claiming the land was his. And that wasn't enough. The next morning, we came back to continue planting and discovered that he had he had come during the night and uprooted the suckers we had already planted. We planted, he uprooted. We planted again, he uprooted again. I want you to imagine how that feels. You are planting with your hands. Your workers are there. You are investing per sucker, and someone is coming behind you and pulling them out of the ground. I was frustrated. I was angry, but I knew I had to handle this the right way. My first instinct was not to fight. It was to talk. I got his number and I called him. I said, look, this is not the right way to handle this. What we should do is sit down together, you, me, and the person who gave me this land, and let the owner confirm who this land belongs to. Whoever it doesn't belong to, take their money back and move on. Simple. This is a reasonable solution. This is a mature solution. But this man, he refused. He said he would meet me, but he would not meet me together with the landowner. He said he would meet me, but he would not meet me together with the landowner. He only wanted to meet me alone. And I said, what exactly are we going to discuss? The problem is not between me and you. It's between you and the owner. I got this land from someone. If you have a problem, it should be with that person, not me. We all need to be in the same room. He kept going back and forth, wasting my time, wasting my energy. And meanwhile, my suckers were still being uprooted though. I had been patient enough. It was time to take a different approach. So I went to the police station and reported the issue. And the first thing they asked me for was evidence, proof that I had illegitimately acquired that land. That is why I always tell people, get your receipt for everything. Every payment you make, every transaction you enter, get a receipt. That is your proof. Because when I walked to the police station, I had my receipt, I had my documentation, I had proof. The CID took my case seriously. They contacted the man, and something interesting happened. He called me back almost immediately after talking to the CID. Suddenly, He was willing to cooperate. Suddenly, he had time to meet. Suddenly, he was sorry. Amazing how quickly people find time when the police are involved. And God bless that CID officer. He didn't just make calls, he physically accompanied me throughout the entire process. He came with me to the meeting. He was there from beginning to end. I will always be grateful for that. We finally sat down together, me, the man, the landowner, the CID, and a friend of mine. And that was when the truth came out. The land was never his. Imagine, he had been lying the entire time. The landowner confirmed this clearly, and this man had no claim to that land whatsoever. At that point, I had every right to demand compensation. We had At that point, I had every right to demand compensation. We had planted and replanted because of what he did. Planting is not free. Labor costs money. Suckers cost money. Time costs money. But my friend who was with me that day looked at me and said, Lisbeth, you are new in this area. Don't start with enemies and grudges. Let it go. I listened. I let it go. I did not charge that man a single peso for the damage he caused. Do I regret it? No. Because I got my land. I got confirmation that the land was rightfully mine, and I chose peace over a prolonged battle. Sometimes the bigger person walks away, not because they are weak, but because they are wise. Now let me give you the lessons from this experience, because this story is not just mine. Land disputes happen to farmers across Ghana every single day, and you need to be prepared. Lesson 1. Always get a receipt. This is non-negotiable. Every payment, every transaction, get a receipt. When I walked into that police station, receipt was my protection. Without it, I would have had nothing to stand on. It does not matter how well you know the person you are dealing with. Get a receipt. Lesson number 2. Don't be afraid to involve the police. Some people avoid the police because they think it's escalating things. But in my experience, involving the right authorities is sometimes the only way to bring a dishonest person to the table. I tried to resolve this peacefully first. When that failed, I went to the police and it worked. Know when to escalate. Lesson 3. Stay calm and handle disputes professionally. I was angry. I had every right to be angry, but I did not let that anger control my actions. I made calls. I proposed solutions. I went through the right channels. And at the end, I chose peace over revenge. Your reputation as a farmer in a community matters. How you handle conflict says a lot about your character and how you handle success. Protect your investment, but protect your integrity too. This business will test you, not just in the soil and the suckers and the harvest, but in the moment when people try to take what is rightfully yours. Stay documented, stay calm, stay professional, and never be afraid to stand up for yourself through the right channel. The land beneath our feet is our greatest asset. Protect it with receipts, with patience, and with wisdom. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a fellow farmer. Have you ever experienced a land dispute or a challenge like this in your farming journey? Drop it in the comment section. I would love to hear your story and read every single one. Subscribe to the African Agripreneur and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. I'm King Kono Elizabeth. The soil beneath our feet is our greatest asset. See you in the next one.